Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CSTV, where we keep it raw and real. This is your host, Catherine. Now, in today's discussion, actually, I'm going to look at the recent developments in Somalia. About 2 days ago, you know what? Somalia actually declared the African Union envoy to Somalia, Mr. Simon Mlongo, persona non grata in the country. What does that imply? That they do not want to see Simon Mlongo, who is actually the current AU envoy in Somalia, in that particular country. The government, the Somalia government has given the AU envoy 7 days to leave the country. What's one thing that is actually puzzling, or actually is unanswered, is why is Somalia actually declaring Mr. Simon Mlongo persona non grata and giving him 7 days to leave the country? They have not come out fairly clear. Even the Minister of Foreign Affairs has not come out fairly clear to state exactly what is this mistake that Mr. Simon Mlongo conducted. But one thing that is coming out from the Foreign Minister's tweet is the fact that they consider Simon Mlongo to have been involved in activities that are contrary to AU mission, the AMISOM, that is African Mission in Somalia. So this one then raises questions concerning the involvement of AU in terms of building in Somalia and the readiness of Somalia to accept AU troops or the African soldiers from all of African countries that are in the AU to provide peace in the country. We go back to history. AMISOM entered in Somalia in March 2007. And since then, AMISOM has really helped Somalia in the fight against Al-Shabaab, especially on the southern parts of the country where Al-Shabaab was highly concentrated. But one thing has been very clear recently concerning Somalia, and it is acceptance, or it is welcome to of AU personnel, AU countries, and AU troops. And I'm saying this because recently we have seen Somalia having some kind of issues with regard to the presence of AMISOM in Somalia. Soldiers who are under AMISOM, especially the KDF, have been accused of interfering with Somalia's sovereignty. Kenya has been at the receiving end concerning the same. We have even seen cases where the relationship between Somalia and other African countries, especially Kenya, has been actually been deteriorating. But that said and done, I'm seated here and I'm wondering actually if Somalia is not ready to have AMISOM in its soils, or if Somalia feels that the AU personnel in its soils are actually interfering with its sovereignty or its authority. Is it, do we say that then it is high time that AMISOM troops withdrew from Somalia? And I'm looking at, like, yes, they have given Mr. Simon Mlongo 7 days to leave the country. And when he leaves, will the AU send another envoy there? That's another question. And how sure are we that the person that AU is going to send to Somalia is going to be accepted? Is this the beginning of Somalia telling AU that we do not need you in our country? We are tired. Is it a move by Somalia to declare itself that it is no longer interested with AU anymore? Does Somalia feel like betrayed by the African Union countries? So you see, these are some of the questions that are running in my head, and I'm like, what if AU withdrew the AMISOM troops from Somalia? What could happen? Is really Somalia stable enough for the AU to withdraw it is troops. All is actually Al-Shabaab a problem to the Somalia people? Because I'm seated here, I'm like, when we get a government, all political leaders who are not ready for any negotiation but gives ultimatums, we have given you 7 days and go, like they have not raised a case as to why they want this man go, and they have not even maybe formally written to the AU that we do not want this person here because of APCD, or because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. And I'm also looking at this resistance in the way in which Somalia has been dealing lately with its neighbors. It is not like a friendly way. Somalia is kind of fed up with its neighbors. Somalia is kind of fed up with most of the African countries. And I'm seated and asking myself, what could happen if Somalia is left as a country alone? Or what will happen if the AU does not send another envoy in Somalia? And where does Somalia stand in the international arena in terms of stability? I want to agree that yes, Somalia has made some strides towards stability, but that one does not imply that the country is at a stable point, at a very stable point where we can say now we can leave you alone. And I'm also looking at this case from the point that a friend of mine was actually saying that Somalia is more of a Turkish province, and this is because of the relationship that Somalia has with Turkey. All of us, or if you didn't know, is that Turkey has its largest embassy in the world in Somalia, and it has been one of the countries that has been helping Somalia even in military training. So I'm here seated, I'm looking at Somalia sending away the AU envoy, and I'm like, does really Somalia need any relations with the AU countries, or Somalia is more comfortable with Turkey and another country that is associated or allied to Turkey? And I'm also seated here, I'm saying and asking myself, is this the declaration of Simon Mulunga, the AU envoy in Somalia, persona non grata, Somali's initiative, or it's an initiative from another, from like a developed country, or countries from the Grupo North? Is actually what's happening in Somalia in terms of pushing its neighbors, in terms of its relations with AU. Actually, Somalia is doing, all Somalia is being pushed by third parties from the Grupo North. I'm asking these questions because Somalia has a lot of resources, especially oil. In it is maritime bodies, all in it is maritime territories. But you see, the way the country is at the moment, it may not be able to exploit or make maximum utilization of these resources. But we know that there are also companies, multinational corporations, and we have companies in the Grupo North that are thirsty for these resources. And it could be easy for them to get these resources if actually first Somalia is isolated and left like no African country or nobody will come to stand and say no to this and this. So I'm like, first of all, is Somalia really at a position to make such let me say bold step that we don't want you AU envoy here? What is actually happening in Somalia? Actually, that's my question. Who are these like, do we have third parties pushing Somalia to do what it's doing right now? Do you think that it is the Somalia government that is actually doing this for its own advantage? Or do you think that it is the third parties from the group or not who are pushing Somalia to isolate itself from the AU and eventually make good use of its resources at the expense of the Somalia people? Kindly share your ideas and share your opinions in the chat box, and let's meet next time for another video. Kindly remember to subscribe, remember to share, and remember to give this video a thumbs up. This is Catherine CSTV, and continue having it raw and real. Thank you.